Business, the heartbeat of every economy. The booze and the chairs of the stock market shows who's making profit and who's crumbling under the harsh business environment. On Business Focus, we crowd out the noise for you to make informed decisions on your investment. I'm Pakwisi Asare and I talk business.
Business Focus, Mondays, 6 p.m. only on TV3.
Brought to you by Asad Tech Roofing, Acacia Health Insurance.
In 2016, you would recall that 3 South Africans came into the country and they were later deported. Now they came into the country and the New Patriotic Party said that these people were brought in by the party to train their security men. And the name that dominated discussions around the time was the Delta Forces. So the party seemed to have invested in the training of these men. And the question now is, how committed or willing will the NPP be in ensuring that they are able to nip these hoodlums or, people who are becoming automatically lawless, nipping them in the bud? So this is what happened in 2016. Some South Africans were brought into the country to train the personal security guards of the president. So we were told, the current president, when he was a flag bearer of the NPP, we were told that they were brought into the country to train them. After investigations by the BNI and National Security, these men were found to be ex-police officers from South Africa. They were later arrested. After investigations, they were sent out of the country. They were deported. Now, just about a year after, because that happened in March 2016, and in March 2017, this Delta Force group, or vigilante association, or group as you want to call it, went on to attack the Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator, saying that they did not associate with him, they did not know him, and he was not a part of them, and that they wanted someone of, coming from the region to be given that position. And that is the reason they gave. If you listen to Evans, they were saying that simple problem is they need their boys to get work to do. But is it the political party that will give you work to do? This is a matter of concern, and we are hoping that the national security, the president for that matter, would be able to take some decisive action to ensure that these issues do not get out of hand. We would be speaking to a security analyst shortly to see how, as a nation or the government in power, would be able to handle this tactfully, so we would not have them going into hiding and then coming up to attack various fronts and making us have issues on our hands. Around the same time last year, 3 South Africans, as I mentioned, were picked up. They were later found out to be doing things contrary to national security settings. Government had to deal with them decisively. They were taken out of the country and flown back to South Africa. The NPP, was quite clear on the fact that they brought them. They took responsibility and said that they brought them into the country to train their men and women in terms of protection for security personnel. All right, so that is just a brief background of what these 3 men have been up to when they came into the country in March 2016. We are in 2017, and just a year after, we were getting reminders about the activities they undertook. Let's go straight to the interview now, and then we would also bring you a playback of what the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, and the IGP have been saying about this development. And my guest has joined us in studio, so let's just join him and try and see how, security-wise, if you are to advise the president, what you would say. We've been joined by Justin Bayer. He's a security analyst, and would want to say thank you very much for joining us. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Is the Delta Force situation getting out of hand, or really the police are in control, as they say?
Thank you very much. For me, this is not a surprise at all. If you equip civilian groups with military capacity and they don't have any proper command structure, what you are going to get is acts of impunity, and that's what we are witnessing. Just as you mentioned, a number of people were brought in last year to train some groups, and Delta Force was one of them. So they have been given the necessary training, and they've been equipped. So they have to express it. And that is what we are seeing right now. For me, if we don't do anything now, these acts of impunity will continue. There will be a lot of lawlessness, and the state to be seen to be gradually sliding down.
This is not the first such vigilante group that seem to be, taking the law into their own hands. It seems that every major political party now seem to have some so-called, party supporters or party foot soldiers who take the law into their hands when their party is in power. What is the role the national security, for instance, what role should they be playing in this, irrespective of which party is in power?
Yes, exactly. What we need is not condemnation. The real thing we should be doing is effective response in terms of taking steps to arrest and deal with such people who are actually committing such crimes. We should see these things as criminal, and we should deal with them. We shouldn't sit down and then think that by condemning, then the issue would go away. For me, there is a link with all that they are doing, whether it's coming from any of the political parties or not. The issue about not reacting appropriately means that these groups who have the belief that they can do whatever they like, and at the end of the day, nobody can act upon it. And then what we will see in the end is that gradually we would probably see one day a group that will wake up and then be challenging the authority of the state. It is not in the too far in the distant future, please.
Were you surprised at yesterday's development, looking at the fact that the police were, one, clearly outnumbered? They said that they had to protect the judge rather than chase after the 13 men they had brought to court and all that. When that happened, did it surprise you in any way?
Not in the least, because we were all in this country when some people attacked some judges verbally. That sent a signal that at least one of the arms of government can be attacked. So I wouldn't be surprised if one day the other two arms of government are attacked, that is the legislature and actually the executive. So if that happens one day, nobody should see it as a surprise, because we are currently seeing signs.
I just want to put two quick questions to you. One, yesterday the National Security Minister, Honorable Kandapa, was in Parliament and said that these vigilante groups cannot be disbanded, which means that he said they have not, because they've not been registered, they are not seen and they don't have a particular office saying you're going to disband them. But we all accept that they are a group that exists. They exist. We feel what they do. How can we manage this dilemma?
Yes, thank you. For me, I believe that their activities is ample evidence that they are existing and they've been trained. So the best thing is actually to go ahead and disband them so that their activities will be seen as illegal. So that
if you say disband, maybe it's the word that if you say disband, what does that mean?
If you declare them, their activities to be illegal, that means you are asking them to be disbanded. They are no more to be acting under the name of Delta Force as an institution or organization. So whoever insists on acting under the banner of the Delta Force will be seen as acting illegally. And then based on that, we can arrest them and deal with them.
And the decisive decision from the president, if he calls you right now that he and the security men have met, they want a concrete action to take with regard to this, what would that be from you?
Yes, those people who are actually leading these, it's not as if we don't know them. We are aware people know who they are. The best is for us to arrest them and then deal with them according to the law, because an attack on the court is something that is we've never heard of.